Hi, it's Steve Semple here, and just wanted to take a moment and talk about a new assessment tool that I was exposed to. My buddy Gary sent this over, wanting me to take a look at it. I've done Colby, I've done DISC, I've done Myers-Briggs, I've done True Colors, certified in several of them, taken a look at all these different tools. And here is a new one that he came across, which is called the see if you can see it there, your Fascination Advantage Report. What's really cool about this report is, unlike the others which talk about yourself, this one really talks about how the world sees you and how you can actually use that to your advantage for more success, because this is when you're at your best and how people see you in your best role. So I just want to take a second to go through some of the elements of the report and share my thoughts with you. And basically, at first glance, it's a lot of similar things from the standpoint of talking about what assessment tools are and what they tell you about. But one of the things that's interesting is that often, and a lot of these things, it talks about your primary advantage, your secondary advantage, and your hidden talent. In this case, they were referring to me as being, I'll talk a little bit more about this, oops, there we go, I'm the Maverick leader. One of the things you'll see here that this report refers to is some videos that are on the site. I found the videos fantastic, minute, 2 minutes long on each one of these different concepts. And I found them very, very enlightening and very, very insightful. In my case, it said my primary advantage is innovation, my secondary advantage is power, and my dormant advantage is trust, which basically means that 3 objectives in terms of how the world sees me is pioneering, irreverent, and entrepreneurial. And the interesting thing is, on all of this, is that it goes on further to talk about how the world sees me as that I lead with a bold and unconventional wisdom. Now that's great if you think about somebody says to me, what do you bring to the table? That's a fantastic thing that words that I can now say to folks. The other thing it goes on to say is that you are unafraid to take the lead, happy to propose new direction, product, or market strategy. I'm always full of new ideas and almost a little restless. Anybody who knows me knows this to be true. If something starts to feel familiar, I'll probably start experimenting to see whether higher goals can be achieved. This totally spoke to me about my independence, about my character, all of those things. But what's really, again, interesting about it is about how the world sees me when I'm at my best. And then it talks about some top specialty objectives. And in my highest value, that what I do is I bring pioneering ideas. The other thing that it has is this great 49 personality archetypes, which I found very, very interesting for taking a look at. But one of the, and also that the way that my primary personality descriptors are is that I embrace opportunities for change. I'm driven by a profound sense of adventure and creativity. I captivate spontaneity and a quick wit, values creativity and cutting edge thinking. Like, again, these things are all very true. But here's what's fantastic in my section on my, oops, there we are, on my primary advantage. It's one of the things it talks about is how I add value. I'm quick to solve problems with fresh solutions. I'm able to generate ideas to surprise people with a new perspective, completely true. And people watch to see what you'll do next because you thwart tradition. Again, that is how the world sees me. So at my best, I should put myself in positions where I'm able to use that. The secondary advantage power, they go through very similar types of reports. But one of the most interesting parts in this is they get into this whole idea of creating your anthem. In other words, basically creating this phraseology in which you can describe yourself. I'm going to tell you, folks, that is a game changer. Looking for new work, what's the most frustrating thing for an employer? What can I rely on you? Creating that theme to remind yourself of what it is that you are best at, what it is you are strongest at, where it is that you bring your greatest value, where it is you excel. being able to have that anthem that you can repeat to yourself every morning to remind yourself of where you are the best. One of the things I learned in this is that one of the areas I'm also the best is bringing big ideas. And I was in a slump a number of years ago, and what I suddenly realized was I stopped thinking big. I'm getting back to thinking big again, and I'm feeling more excited than I've ever been. So I'm going to really, this is a new tool to Canada. My friend Gary is thinking about getting involved with this. I think he should, simply because I think this idea of helping people create their anthem is a real game changer. I'm going to start working on mine. So I hope you tune in again, and I will share with you the anthem that I've created for myself.